Hello, Bl'Art here with the vestiges of passing glory, the Crystal Armor Faris Raid Shinryu fight. We're bringing a team of Paladin Cecil, Core, and Fujin. Before we get too deep into it, be sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, ring that notification bell. Join in on the fun. So, what do we got going on here? We're going to be bringing Paladin Cecil because we like Paladin Cecil. Core's here because Core's awesome and great and tremendous and amazing. If you don't have Core, what are you doing? Go get Core. Is his banner still up? I hope it is. If his banner isn't... Oh, it might be gone. I'm sorry if it's gone and you don't have him. Apologies. Anyway, we're going right into the Paladin Cecil burst phase. Reason being, it's not here for the damage. However, you'll notice we're actually going to be doing some respectable damage numbers here. Partially because, well, I love how Core's damage is added to the total. So, like, right there, you know, like, boom, and then Paladin says, like, boom, and it's like, oh, well, look at that, he did over 1 million damage. You know, Core. That said, Paladin Cecil's pretty funny here, because, as you know, there are elemental lockouts, and that means he's doing 1 brave damage with every attack. That said, we don't care about brave damage around these parts, because we can't read. DW meme reference. More to the point, we don't care about it because we refund most of our hits. I say most because, as you saw, not so much there. We did bring the Camel Up Call for that burst phase so that he'd be refunding between every attack. Every other turn we don't care because, thanks to Fujin, he's always battery to full because that's how Fujin works. But for the burst phase, we wanted to make sure he was starting each turn with full battery so he could refund between attacks because every one of Paladin Cecil's attacks is a sweet refund, except for Luminous Blast, but that doesn't count. HP pluses don't count in this day and age. Fujin's here for a couple of reasons. We've got that sweet refund, or not refund, battery, off-turn and on-turn. Something like a Bartz or Desh would also work here, but I wanted Fujin because Fujin also brings off-turn damage, which is great with Core. It also handily enchants Core, so he's actually dealing brave damage, which we love to see. This fight is kind of a gimme, I think, if you have some good off-turn damage units and, like, an enchanter. It's not too difficult to get around, but I wanted to showcase Paladin Cecil here as usual because I think he's a little... A, he's a little overlooked, and B, he's honestly not that great. I wouldn't recommend him to anyone, but he still is able to put in work. I'm a fan of characters who aren't top of the line but still contribute. There's something about that I think it's because I love the roster diversity of this game and the breadth of it. And so the idea of, oh, there are only like 6 characters who are actually good and worth pulling for, like that just doesn't feel good. That feels shitty. So if they're characters who can contribute and pull their weight, I'm a fan of that. I also am a fan of Paladin Cecil because, you know, Final Fantasy IV. But now that we've gotten them over their 40% mark, we're going to have Core be counterattacking like crazy. And Cecil's going to be providing a couple of different contributions here, even if one of them isn't brave damage. He, of course, is raising our HP cap with his burst effect, and dealing respectable on-turn damage himself with his refunds. But as you can see here, he's also going to be keeping us hella safe from these AoE attacks. There we go, just basically nothing, because as you probably know by now, if you're over full health, Cecil keeps you nice and safe, especially if you have someone like Core keeping you, kind of reducing damage even further. Cecil's a great kind of secondary defensive unit, I found. Thankfully, we have Core equipped on Cecil, because this means we can break them, because otherwise Cecil wouldn't have been able to. That would have been awkward as heck. But anywho, we are trying to get ready to jump into Core's force time. We want to do that before the enemy force time, of course. We're going to go ahead real quick, get kind of greedy. We're going to use Ketchi so that Cecil can, cap his brave a little bit better between turns. I don't think it's actually necessary. His refunds are pretty crazy. I didn't check, but does this get... I feel like this fight has lower brave game reductions than we're used to or something, because it just feels insane to me how hard Cecil was refunding during these fights. My guess was if it does have lower reductions, I'm guessing it's to reduce or to showcase Faris's battery better, since she doesn't have encouragement armor. If it does have the same amount, oh look at that, 99.8%. Wow, that was close. Sorry, the song came on and I got really jazzed up. I figured Gilgamesh making a little cameo is reason enough to use Battle on the Big Bridge, isn't it? Ah man, I love this music. Makes up for the fact that Gilgamesh himself is pretty terrible. There's a good chance that was horribly out of sync. I've noticed that the voice recording and the music recording never seems to sync up right. But anyway, That's okay. We're hopping in and doing a Reaper scale, which is okay. We don't mind. Sometimes with core, I find doing that during force time is kind of awkward because you want to kind of get those off-turn damage procs in. Thankfully, these guys make that a non-issue because they warp every turn. It's really great. This is a really stupid fight for showcasing like dumb, abusable off-turn damage stuff because they aren't that threatening, and you can just kind of off-turn them to death, and it's incredible. So I did a slight misplay here, actually. I don't know if you noticed. With Fujin, I chose not to use her EX when it was up. I went for the LD instead. My rationale was, I want to make sure that Wind Slash is up during the force time. Core was going right after, so it really, I think I would have lost a single turn of Wind Slash during force time, and consequently, the downside of me doing that is this whole time we could have been building up the force multiplier with extra Wind Slash procs. And instead, we haven't even applied Wind Slash left, and we're halfway through our force time. So that was kind of a bad move. I should have definitely EX'd with Fujin on her last turn, but it's okay. We'll have a chance to rectify that right now. It will certainly not stop us from actually clearing the dang fight. So here we go, into the sky. One disadvantage of all these turn warps is it makes launches kind of ineffective, but whatever. We're not here for launches. Fujin's here for off-turn damage and for battery, and that's what she's providing. And wind enchant, I guess. Core appreciates that. But yeah, as you can see, Paladin Cecil. He's standing there looking very handsome, very shiny, very regal with his shiny armor. Got that moonkin blood in him. And he's, just kind of helping people out with with those sweet support auras. Just kind of jack of all trades, master of none kind of stuff that this game doesn't usually reward very well. I think he's a good example of that right now. The reason he was so great during LDPT was because he was jack of all trades, master of several. Auras mainly I'm talking about. In this case, his auras are like good, but not ground-shaking, earth-breaking, world-shattering. But it's okay. They're good enough for government work, which is what we got going on here. We're going to go ahead and make sure that BT aura does not fall off. Funny thing is, because this is the one attack of his that doesn't refund. Luckily, because it's a burst finisher, it still deals like 7 million damage between the two enemies, thanks to how force time works and its own like raised caps and stuff. There we go. Paladin Cecil through Elemental Lockout. Eat your heart out. I mean, Core is broken. It doesn't really... he could have worked with anyone. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. I forgot to press Cyan, and I forgot to press Brothers. Whatever. It's okay. No summon run. Hey! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Adios.